Hello all loyal and potential new subscribers. Today we continue the Honda CB750 Cafe Racer build. First I make bracket for regulator that goes under the tank. Then I make a small raising piece, /tank mounting bracket for the back of the tank. The intention is to make it such that the tank does not need to be modified. The purpose is also to use the original tank holder rubbers. This time I try to explain better what I do and why. I hope you find this enjoyable and you subscribe to my channel. If you're wondering what that red box is, I'll get back to it at the end of the video. I start making the voltage regulator bracket by attaching the regulator to the frame. The existing attachment point seems originally been the upper attachment point of the air cleaner. Next I make the mold in cardboard. At this point I thought I would make the bracket to cover the entire regulator. But I didn't have enough strong and wide material. So I had to settle for something a little different. After a small angle grinder action, the piece is fitted into place. When the fit is sufficient, I spot weld it in place. After spot welding, I remove the regulator and weld the bracket to the final position. To make the bracket, I use old metal part with a hole and thread ready. I don't remember where this came from, but I have a box of these sitting on the shelf. So there is plenty of room for errors, and if the first one gets ruined, I can make the next version. First, I place the tank in its own place and mark the place at the back of the tank's old mounting bracket. After that, I mark the center guidelines. I cut off the strip from the middle, because the future tank mounting bracket has a small rise at the bottom that is perfect for centering. After cutting, I put the tank back so that I can mark the center of the mounting hole in the tank. I try to get the center line as close as possible to the real center of the bike, so that the tank sits nicely in relation to the frame. The mounting bracket candidate needs to be modified a bit, mainly its height needs to be correct. The thickness of the rubber holder of the tank, and the rubber that comes under the fastening bolt must be taken into account in the height. This time I use a hacksaw to cut so that I can get the most accurate cutting line. When I'm satisfied with the mounting bracket, I spot weld it in place and do a trial fitting of the tank. For some reason, the tank does not want to go over the rubbers of the front mounting bracket. I think I need to look at them to see if they need to be modified even more. Unbelievable but true, it seems that this turned out to be good enough at once, and I can weld the mounting bracket properly to the frame. Yeah, so the red box, well, It's a model of the M-unit blue box. I started planning how to place all the electronic components under the bench, and for that, I made a model of the M-unit box. The first test fit didn't go well because the bottom of the bench caught on the box. After scratching my head for a while, I remembered that I sized the shelf for the X21 box, which is a little lower than the M-unit box. Of course, this causes a bit of gray hair, if I had any, because I wouldn't want to modify the shelf under the bench for the third time. I made a model out of the smallest lithium battery of a reasonable size and adjusted the bench to its place. It would seem that both the M-unit box and the battery could fit under the hump. But more on that another time. If you want to see how these ever-lovely electronics problems turned out, skip to the next episode or go back in time a little and see how we ended up in this state in the previous episodes.